The first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima.
Oh, the humanity!
The fires of frustration and discord are burning in every
Let us
city.
not forget for a moment the toils and efforts that lie ahead.
They say that those who forget their history are condemned to repeat it. This is the History Lessons Podcast with certified financial planning practitioner Patrick Huey, author of History Lessons for the Modern Investor, and your guide to financial wisdom in the past, present, and future. You ready? Good. Let's get historical.
Hey, I'm Patrick Huey, author of History Lessons for the Modern Investor, and this is how history can help inform your investments, retirement, and tax planning for the week of October 27th, 2025. Today we're focusing on the boys of summer, a few of whom are still battling out in October for the World Series title. And we're talking baseball because on October 27th, 1960, baseball announced the American League's first expansion teams, taking a step into the future. On that day, American League President Joe Cronin stood before the press to announce something once unthinkable: two entirely new franchises, the Los Angeles Angels and a reborn Washington Senators. They would join Major League Baseball for the 1961 season. For decades, pro baseball had been a cloistered, tradition-heavy enterprise, content to sell out the same flagship stadiums year after year. But tectonic cultural shifts, like expanding suburbs, television, and growing populations west of the Mississippi, were rewriting the American map. The league bet big. It would no longer be content with legacy markets, and it would face down the risk of the new in pursuit of broader relevance and growth. The result transformed not just sports, but the business of entertainment in America. Fans far beyond New York, Boston, or Chicago could now call themselves major leaguers, and franchises unlocked new revenue, rivalries, and dreams. The era of standing still was over, inside of baseball and beyond. Here then are 4 lessons for the modern investor from baseball's expansion playbook. First, standing still might just be riskier than reaching out. By the late 1950s, baseball's refusal to expand was turning relevance into risk. The sport's future hinged not on protecting the past, but on boldly pursuing new audiences and markets. Today, the best portfolios, well, they too fail quietly when they become insular, over-concentrated, under-diversified, or blind to emerging opportunities. Now more than ever, investors must challenge their own inertia. Ask not just how to protect what you have, but where you might need to go to grow. Next, growth done right. Well, the Angels and Senators, they didn't erase tradition. They expanded the club, weaving new markets into the national conversation while respecting the legacy that made the American League thrive. Similarly, the best innovation updates a core strategy rather than blowing it up completely. Investors should think about this and diversify themselves in ways that amplify their original strengths and not abandon them entirely. Third, every expansion comes with growing pains. Sudden growth required new rules, stadium deals, player drafts, and sometimes awkward first seasons. Investors venturing into new sectors, geographies, or asset classes, they too will face some surprises, be they regulatory wrinkles, learning curves, or the temptation to overreach. Growth is a positive, but only when it's managed properly. So test carefully, build flexibility into your plan, and expect occasional stumbles along the way, even in industries that are leading the league. And finally, the market rewards bold moves, but only when they're rooted in reality. Baseball's expansion succeeded because it reflected real demographic shifts, a growing mobile population hungry for new heroes and hometown legends. In both business and investing, chasing fads or hype rarely sustains itself. Success is built on changes in genuine behavior, need, or demand. So don't expand just to expand. Expand to meet the world as it actually is and is becoming. A final thought here. Baseball's October 1960 expansion was more than a memo. It was a turning point, born of the courage to question tradition and reimagine relevance. Your biggest wins, whether on the field or in the market, won't come from clinging to what worked yesterday, but from betting with discipline on the possibilities of tomorrow. The next chapter doesn't write itself. Sometimes you have to say, play ball to whatever comes next.